Do you need a quick comparison between the Flautandos of Spitfire Audio's cinematic frozen strings and their intimate strings? If so, in this video, we're going to take a look at how those two presets are similar and how they're different. Hey everyone, my name is Robert Rodriguez and I'm a film and media composer and orchestrator. If you're new here, I want to invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I also want to give you access to my free composer reference guide. It's going to cover the basics on how to write for different genres of film and television music. So if you are interested in something like that, then the link is in the description down below. So not too long ago, I came out with a video comparing the two Spitfire Audio originals libraries, their cinematic frozen strings and their intimate strings. And since then, I've actually gotten a few requests to just compare specifically the Flautando patches that come with both libraries. At first glance, these two libraries seem like they could be synonymous with one another, but in that video, we dug into the differences really between the two. And my goal is to really help you decide which library might fit best with your own sample libraries. So I thought it would be a good idea to put the same MIDI region melody across both libraries, just so you can hear how they sound together, how they sound apart. And so I pulled up the cinematic frozen strings Flautando patch and the intimate strings Flautando patch. Just so you can see the comparison between the two. If we take a look at just like the faders and the knobs, everything is about the same. Release is about 50, reverb is maybe like 20. The close and tree mics are activated for both, but the super close and the vintage are going to be turned off, mainly because those mics are specific to that library. So we want to see how they compare to each other. And then we can turn them on just to see how different they can be. Expression is all the way up. The mod wheel is about 50. So let's just take a listen to cinematic frozen strings. If you saw my comparison video, you'll know that the cinematic frozen strings has a very like icy texture behind it. It's a very detailed texture, and it's more based on experimental techniques than intimate strings, which focuses on more traditional techniques. And so let's just take a listen to the line. All right. And so now let's take a listen to intimate strings, the same line. All right, so right away, I think we can hear a clear difference. The cinematic frozen strings is a much smaller ensemble, which is why it sounds much quieter in comparison to intimate strings. But intimate strings is very straightforward. You're gonna get a very traditional, straightforward type of play style. Of course, you can adjust the sound a little bit by tweaking the close tree and vintage microphones. But with that said, it is gonna be a fuller sound. Cinematic frozen strings is just much smaller. It's much harsher, and the best way to put it, because it's frozen, it's an icier sound, but really it is just much more delicate. So I guess it really does depend on the type of sound that you're looking for. I hope that this quick comparison could give you an idea of what the two Flautandos might sound like. But if you are looking for that just quiet, delicate sound, then maybe cinematic frozen strings might be the way to go. But if you are looking for maybe a more straightforward, clear path for your strings, then maybe intimate strings is the way to go. That's going to give you a bit more of a fuller, warmer sound in comparison. One thing I would like to try is maybe putting the two together. I think you'll notice as we A/B between the two, just how much character one library might have compared to the other. So let's just take a listen. Maybe let's even increase the mod wheel to like 77. That way we're getting the real depth of the sample. And then I guess increase that a little bit too. Maybe 75 or something, but... I think when you combine the two together, it gives the melody a new character, just a new sound that you don't get from either of the libraries. I think we really heard the clear-cut path of the intimate strings. Every note kind of did its job. It was definitely warmer, it was definitely fuller, but when we added the frozen strings, it almost gave it an extra layer on top that you don't really pick up on when both are playing, but when you remove the frozen strings, the intimate strings almost felt a little bit emptier. The cinematic frozen strings has this just delicate characteristic that you're just not gonna get from intimate strings. You can manipulate all that you want. Maybe they have a half section patch that you can load in. You could do harmonics with a mute, but you're not going to get the same experimental techniques that you get with cinematic frozen strings. I think each library has its purpose, but really reflect on the samples that you have already and what is missing so that you can make an informed purchase if you choose to get either one of these libraries. All right, so that is going to be it from me. I hope you got value out of this video. This was just going to be a quick one so we can make the comparison between these two default patches, and hopefully it does give you maybe a bit of a clearer answer onto which library is perfect for you. So if you did get value out of today's video, then definitely consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And if you are interested in that free composer reference guide, the link is in the description down below. All right, so make sure you check out my full comparison video to check out more details on these two libraries. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, happy composing.